All right, everyone, looks like we're ready to go. Thanks again for joining us today. We're excited to get started. But before we do, I'm going to go over a few details here. Runtime for the webinar will be around 30 minutes. Definitely feel free to use the chat to ask us questions during the presentation. We'll have a Q&A at the end, so we'll answer as many questions as we can depending on time. This webinar will be recorded and sent out via email after the webinar. And if you're noticing any technical difficulties, you can't hear us or anything, please let us know and we'll get that worked out for you. And now without further delay, let's get started here. My name's Amy. I'm the Partner Marketing Manager here at Bold Commerce. We're joined by Jenna from Just Uno.
Hello, hello.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and Just Uno, Jenna.
Oh, sure. Hey, guys. My name is Jenna Ochoa, and I am also in partner marketing at Just Uno. So for those of you who have joined in from the Just Uno side, you've probably heard me on a few webinars recently. So thanks for joining us today. And if you don't know what Just Uno is, I don't know, Amy, if you want to pop to that slide really quick. A lot of you may know us as a really great pop-up solution, but we actually have a lot more functionality than that and can help you convert your leads at every stage of the funnel. So we're going to get into some examples of that today, and I'm excited to talk to you about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenna. And next up, we have Ron from Bold Commerce.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. My name is Ron Alderson. I'm the lead merchant success specialist here at Bold Commerce. Being one of the first employees when Bold started 6 years ago, I have a lot of experience helping merchants looking to sell online and in other countries. A little bit about Bold. We're not just another e-commerce solution provider. We are industry leaders and a team of over 200 e-commerce professionals providing a full range of design and development services to help stores stand out. Bold builds some of the most popular apps designed to increase your sales and help run your store efficiently. Every day, we're helping 100,000 plus merchants, from those launching their first store to large established global brands, take their business to the next level.
All right, it's great to have you both. First up, we're going to touch on selling internationally and why it's important for your business. This is a huge topic in the e-commerce industry right now, and luckily Ron has a lot of experience working with merchants on this. What are your thoughts on this, Ron?
Yeah, thanks, Amy. It's definitely a huge topic, and for good reason. International sales allow you to reach a much larger market, increase your revenue, scale your business, and build brand recognition on an international scale. The ease of connectivity, transportation, and global product demand has reduced the barriers to market overseas. As I mentioned, you can reach a much larger market. In 2014, 40% of shoppers made an online purchase from another country. With consumers becoming more comfortable with online shopping, the availability and ease through mobile devices, social media platforms, that number would certainly be higher today. Selling internationally is a great opportunity to increase your revenue. In 2014, retail e-commerce sales reached $1.5 trillion. As you'll see in a few slides, it's an amazing opportunity in the global market as it continues to expand rapidly. As merchants, you know that there's a few hills to climb to get your business off the ground and growing. International sales can scale your business to new markets. Here's what I mentioned earlier. The global market is growing rapidly, and e-commerce is expected to hit $4.5 trillion by 2021. That's huge. The only way to get a piece of that, and you should, is to get out there acquiring new customers from all around the world. Lastly, build brand recognition on an international scale. The more people recognizing your brand, the more comfortable they'll feel buying from you. Even if you're in a different country, it's the trust factor. 55% of shoppers rely on the global success of a company as a signal of quality and innovation. Maybe you're on Instagram, you built up some followers, happy customers are spreading the word about your company. If they're seeing your brand over and over, and the fact that your store is set up to welcome shoppers from around the world speaks volumes. Are you already selling internationally? Any tips or lessons learned you want to share? Perhaps you're here looking to grow into international markets and wondering where to start. Let me know in the chat. If you're considering opening your doors to international customers, keep in mind that there's no need to support every available currency. One method is using Google Analytics and Shopify Analytics. With these tools, you're creating a powerhouse of information to use to your advantage. It's easy to become overwhelmed and feel the need to sell to the whole world all at once. You don't have to. Be strategic and see where your customers live, or at least where they're showing interest under the visitors by location link. Maybe you've already been selling for a while with some international customers. You might look at average order value and discover trends by country. Good rule of thumb is if at least 5% of your customers come from a country, so you might want to look into supporting a local currency. Choose the top 2, maybe 3 locations as a test and start from there.
Cool, Ron, I just wanted to call out, it looks like several people have responded in the chat, so I apologize for maybe butchering this name, but Dibyakshu, Fred, Kara, all of these sell internationally. So just curious, and maybe Mark, Doug says he's been selling to over 50 countries or counties, but maybe he means countries. That's awesome. If you guys would be comfortable sharing the URL to your store so we can see who we're talking to, what kind of products you guys sell, I think that could help Ron and myself make this a little more tailored. But go ahead, Ron, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No
Just
problem.
wanted to shout out to those guys. Yeah.
Awesome. So does this experience sound familiar? We stumble across this great store that has all the products we want, only realize the store is not set up in our local currency. Customers come from all over the world and try to pay in currencies different from what your store accepts. So why multi-currency? Well, multi-currency lets you scale your business, welcoming international shoppers to your store by allowing them to browse in their local currency will not only increase conversions, but put customers at ease. It makes your store look professional. You're offering the option to shop in their home currency and enhances the customer experience by accommodating to their needs. Decreases abandoned carts. We prefer websites that are in our native language and pricing in our home currency. Needing to convert prices manually or additional browsing to find an exchange rate, it disrupts the shopping experience. Increases the likelihood of your customer leaving your store to find a rate or find somewhere else that has the products in their currency. It creates a great customer experience. Customers who have a great experience are more likely to make repeat purchases, creating loyal brand advocates. So Bold Multi-Currencies app offers real-time exchange rates. No need to manually download rates, sync the app, or anything technical. Everything stays up to date behind the scenes. The app also supports fixed rates and padding rates by a percentage. Another important feature is geolocation by IP address. Multi-currency detects a visitor's location and automatically converts to their local currency. The geolocation feature is built into the app, nothing extra and nothing to add on, no extra cost. And multi-currency supports all currencies, and that's also included within. Some other additional features is rounding rules. With currency conversion, you can have some weird prices. Maybe you have a product that's at $10 USD. In Europe, it will show as $8.56. Maybe you want to have rounded up to $8.99 or and even $9. You can do that with the rounding rules. You can also override the currency to by country. So maybe you want a visitor from England to see pricing in euros instead of British pounds. That's also included. So here's a quick demo of the currency dropdown. The geolocation can automatically select and convert the prices to the shopper's local currency, but it does also offer the feature that selecting from the dropdown, the customer can choose their currency and the price is immediately converted. $25 USD converted to 21.46 euro, converts to 32.24 Canadian, for example. Some platforms like Shopify, they're able to display the converted price on the storefront, but only allow the customer to pay in the default store currency. Bold offers a solution, Cashier, that is exclusive to multi-currency app. It enables customers to not only shop in their currency of choice, but actually pay in the same currency end to end. Prevents frustration, abandoned carts, once the customer hits the checkout, creates that seamless, better shopping experience.
Awesome. Thanks, Ron. Now we'll take it over to Jenna to talk about geo-targeting. Jenna, what is geo-targeting and how can people use it?
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Ron. And Amy, sorry. Before I get started, I just wanted to check out and mention a few of these people that have dropped their URLs. So it looks like we're dealing with all sorts of folks here. We have some clothing companies. Let's see, this one, Suco by Susanna. I would be interested to know what country you are in. I'm thinking maybe like Brazil, but I don't want to get that wrong. Then we also have Lindsay Nichols, New York. That looks great. Some snowboard company. You would also probably like our CEO used to have a snowboard company, Sierra Snowboard. So he would probably know you guys too. Okay, Susanna says she's in Portugal. Very cool. Well, thanks for dropping your store URLs, guys. It looks like a lot of you are already set up with international shipping, so that's great. But I think a few of you have questions about how the currency works, and we're going to address some of those at the end of the webinar. So Ron can answer your questions about multi-currency then. So now let's talk about geo-targeting with Just Uno. Amy, if you can switch to the next slide. Yeah, cool. So similar to how Bold, and I'm not 100% on all the specifics of how Bold's backend works, but similar to using IP targeting, Just Uno leverages that information to allow you to do lots of things. So what I'm going to talk about today is how you can leverage geo-targeting to show an offer to a specific country. For example, a lot of US retailers would like to show free shipping only to US. Vice versa, I know that could work in different ways if you are outside of the US. You can also show to a specific region or state that's not specific only to the US. So even if you're in a different country, we can show to a different region, show an offer specific to that region. And then lastly, this one is specific to US, but we can show offers to a US zip code, and I will get into why you would want to do that later. Additionally, you can also use an advanced rule when you're setting up an offer. And sorry, when I'm talking about offers, guys, I'm talking about anything that you would show on site that is maybe a discount, maybe an offer for free shipping, or simply just some messaging like, hey, we're going to be closed on Friday if you have a physical location. So this is what I'm talking about. So yes, you can use advanced rules to also target a user's language settings to determine what offers they see. So for example, if somebody has their browser set to Spanish, Just Uno can recognize that and then show them a Spanish offer that you have built. So let's go ahead and look at some examples. Okay, yep, thanks Amy for switching that. So this one is showing an offer for free shipping. This one is also an exit intent offer. So as you can see, it says leaving something behind, enter code free ship. And then I've also shown a screenshot of the rule setup here that we have inside our advanced rules. So for those of you who are Just Uno users, you may be familiar with the advanced rules section. We also have a basic rules builder, which looks a little different. But inside the advanced rules, you can find all the cool stuff dealing with geo-targeting. So here I've set it up as the user intends to leave the current URL. You can put any URL you want on your site. You can also target the cart itself. And then you can select, for example, here I've selected Australia. So I saw that somebody dropped in earlier that they are in Australia. So this could be an example specifically for you. But what would happen here is that if Just Uno recognizes that the visitor is visiting from an IP located in Australia, they would see this offer when exiting the specified URL. So an example of why would you want to do that? Well, I think as Ron mentioned earlier in either his analytics slide or maybe the slide prior to that, I'm curious to know, and maybe Doug would be a good reference for this since he said he's been selling to over 50 countries. But for those of you that already do sell internationally, you can probably start to recognize some trends in which countries have a higher AOV or an average order value. So once you identify those countries, it would be kind of cool to start showing those countries more incentive to keep purchasing or move them further down the funnel or encourage them to make an additional purchase. So an exit offer would be a great example of that. So if you do have lots of people from Australia who are buying, $50 to $75 at a time, maybe if you show them an offer, that average order value can increase even further from there. So your already valuable customers become these rock star customers, and you can kind of cut and paste that strategy for other countries that you've identified have potential to become that kind of client. Another example we have here is showing a free shipping threshold. So this is from one of our clients, Savannah Spirit. They're really awesome. And they have this threshold set up. It's this yellow bar that you see here at the bottom. And it's calculating once somebody adds something to their cart, then we can dynamically display a value to say, hey, you're only $95 away from free shipping. That seems like quite a bit, but maybe they have some expensive products. But here at Just we also recommend putting these types of offers. If you're doing a bar, for example, we like to say, hey, throw those on the bottom of your page. That way it's not competing with the nav at the top. And also you have a lot more room to play with. So you can actually make them taller on the bottom if you wanted to. So like drag that yellow bar even further up if you wanted to add in, for example, a product image or something. Sites that do this are like the Gap, Old Navy, those types of that chain of websites. If you go there, a lot of them have this really tall bar at the just clients, but just to give you a live use case that you could see. Another cool thing that Savannah has done here with this extra room is that they've linked to view details of the order or of the offer. So if you are offering free shipping, maybe you have some caveats to this. You always want to make sure you link up to that so you don't have angry customers as to what exactly they're getting themselves into. And then very smartly, they've linked to shop gifts under $30. So making some easy ads to help users reach that threshold. Now, setting that up for us is super easy if you're a Shopify or Shopify Plus client. We also have the capability on BigCommerce. And if you're on any other platform, I believe we can still get it done. It just might be a little bit more of a custom piece. Now, moving on, the next example, showing an offer in a different language or with different language. So this one is an example of showing an offer in a different language. So this is one of our larger clients that I had to block out the branding. So if that's why the design looks weird to you, sorry about that. But as you can see, that Just has recognized the IP address as visiting from a Spanish-speaking country. So all of the offers are going to appear in Spanish. Additionally, on the next slide, Amy, this is just another example, and this one is also blocked out for privacy reasons, but just a simple email capture that appears in French. So, Ron, I think this really just kind of I don't know if you would like to add anything about this, but it's really just kind of echoing your point about making a seamless experience. I mean, how do you think this also impacts the shopping experience?
Yeah, like I said, we're very comfortable in shopping in stores that are in our native language. So seeing a store in French and assuming you're in France, so you probably see pricing in euros. So that would make the whole shopping experience seamless, and you'd feel more at ease and comfortable shopping.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are all strategies just to make your shopper feel more comfortable. And what happens when your shopper feels more comfortable? They'll buy more from you. I mean, that's the end goal. So let's go ahead and check out another example. This is my favorite example, and I have to thank one of my teammates for teeing me up with this example. So thanks, Kelsey. And Kelsey is one of our professional services managers, so she helps design offers for brands. But she mentioned to me like, hey, you probably should speak about the different language. So countries that speak the same language, but maybe use different terminology. And I was asking Amy and Ron if in Canada they say anything different for sneakers. But I think you guys said no, right? Like pretty much everybody says sneakers there.
Yeah, it's kind of sneakers. Runners is also used interchangeably. but
Okay.
sneakers are runners.
Cool. I kind of like runners. I haven't heard that before. But the example I wanted to show for those of you who are located in the UK, I don't know if anybody is joining us right now from the UK because London's playing in the World Cup. So I wouldn't I wouldn't imagine, but if you are, kudos to you. But over there, they say trainers. So for example, the offer that you're looking at right now is something that would be geo-targeted toward the US. You see the pink banner says up to 70% off all summer sneakers. And then it also shows a specific code to reflect sneakers. Now, if we go to the next slide, you will see that this one says 70% off summer trainers. Essentially, it's looking at the same thing, but since we're detecting that a visitor is from the UK, we're switching out the terminology in our offer and also the discount code, which will help you segment your marketing even further on the side of your email service provider, or if you're using any type of triggered mail solution like Bluecore, then that would help inform your marketing further on. So yeah, I mean, that's just an example about the different language. I don't know if anyone has tried anything like that. I would love to see in the comments if anybody has tried that before. Okay, and then my second to last example is talking about specific zip codes. So this is for US only. So sorry for our international viewers. This may not apply to you unless you are actually selling in the US, then it could. But we do have the ability to target specific zip codes. So the one on the left is a very simple but powerful solution that works for one of our favorite clients, evo.com, and the gentleman with the snowboard website might be familiar with them, but they have some physical locations and they geo-target these to specific cities. So the one you're looking at right now, I think is geo-targeted to show in a specific zip code inside of Denver. So what happens is that they capture an email. So they have a visitor from this area that and they can recognize it inside of Just Uno. They're capturing that email and then sending them an incentive to come in store. Why would you want to do that? Well, one of my favorite use cases for this is if you do have physical stores and you have leftover inventory, like maybe you ordered too much or produced too much around a holiday season, you're trying to get rid of stuff in the store. This is a great way to already have somebody who's near, who's highly accessible to come in and purchase those goods. So that's a use case for actually driving people to your store. Another way I've seen this used is, this example is not here on the slide, but if you guys are familiar with the company Bonobos, I believe is how you pronounce it, they're a men's clothing brand. When they were first launching their guide shop, so they have little pop-up kind of stores. Well, they're not necessarily stores, but you go in and just try on their clothes and then you can order them and everything is delivered to you. So they don't actually have inventory inside the store, but you just go to try on. So when they were launching new guide shops, they would show a pop-up on their site. For example, if you were visiting from an area in Brooklyn, New York, and they were opening one near Brooklyn, then you would see, hey, we're launching a new guide shop, come in and try on our clothes. And that proved to be very successful for them in launching their new stores. So that's another way that you could use it. And lastly, this red example that I have here is just one that I created. Anthropologie is not a Just Uno client, but I just wanted to kind of make a demonstration. But you'll see it says Hiya Southport. Well, I used to live in Chicago, and Southport is a neighborhood there that has an Anthropologie store. But there are several Anthropologies located all throughout Chicago. So this is just an example of how you could really personalize an offer to someone visiting from a specific zip code. Okay, and then lastly, I wanted to show an example that would probably be relevant to those of you who are selling internationally or who have multiple stores or multi-domains. This is an example from one of our larger clients, Pendleton, and they do have multiple sites. So as you can see, they have an offer set up that is recognizing a visitor is visiting from Amy and Ron's land from Canada. And it's just prompting that user like, hey, do you want to go to the Canada site? So this is highly relevant when you do have sites in different languages, for example. So obviously you'll see this on very large sites. I see it a lot like on ASOS or on H&M, but you can actually set up a pop-up even if you already have some IP detection in place, maybe through your platform. This would be a great way to just cover your bases in case that technology fails, or you just want to have, like I said, all your bases covered and making sure you're giving people the best shopping experience that you can. And I believe that does it for my example. Sorry if I was a little bit long-winded there, but I think that wraps up everything I wanted to cover.
Yeah, thanks, Jenna. And I was just going to say, it definitely not only welcomes international shoppers, I think it definitely makes your site look more professional when you have those custom pop-ups.
Good point. I agree.
Yeah.
And that kind of relates back to what Ron was saying and really developing this brand trust. So I think you're right. It makes you just look a lot more professional, and people really would probably notice that and be like, okay, they have all of their stuff together.
Absolutely. So before we jump into questions here, I just want to mention we will be throwing some links into the chat to check out Just Uno and Bold multi-currency. So feel free to check those out. For us here at Bold, the best resource is the Shopify App Store, which is where a link will go to. Jenna, if someone's new to Just Uno, what's the best resource for them to check you guys out?
Yes, thank you for asking, because I forgot to say this on the last webinar I was on. So if you guys want to check us out, my best advice would be to first consider what e-commerce platform you're on. So if you are Shopify or Shopify Plus, absolutely, I would direct you to the App Store and just search for Just Uno. If you're on BigCommerce, same thing, go to the marketplace, look us up. WooCommerce, we also have an app, so you can go through that. And then any other platform, we're platform agnostic, so we work with everybody. If you just go to justuno.com, go to our homepage and click Get Started, free trial. And so if you're on none of those platforms, we just use a code snippet to operate on your site. So it's super easy to set up. We have a 15-day free trial. I would encourage everybody to check it out. We offer our full feature set to free accounts all the way up to our Pendleton level accounts. So everything that they have access to, the free account has access to, and that's always. So you guys can check it out and kick the tires, see if you like it.
Awesome. So let's jump into a few questions here. Like Jenna mentioned, there was a question about Cashier. So I'll let Ron go ahead and explain Cashier a little bit to you guys.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, Cashier is just the checkout portion. So if you're on Shopify, same idea. Customer goes through and enters their shipping address, select a shipping rate, and complete the payment to checkout. Cashier is going to do the same thing. It is a different checkout from Shopify. Some cool features in there, things that like a one-page checkout instead of three-page. So it increases less friction, can increase some conversions. Like I said, it integrates with multi-currency exclusively. So whatever currency they're shopping in the store, whether it's US dollars, Canadian dollars, British pounds, euros, yen, anything, they can pay in that same currency end to end, create that seamless experience. There's another question about payment methods. So Cashier credit card payment methods integrates with popular gateways, including Stripe, Braintree, Authorize.net, about 10 other gateways as well. With Apple Pay, Apple Pay is coming soon. We're not quite there yet. Some of the other payment gateways we're looking to integrate with. So those hopefully later in the year.
Yeah, I know Apple Pay is quite the popular one, so it's down the pipeline for sure. Jen, I have a question here for you. How do you set up the Almost There shipping promo settings, and does it work on WooCommerce?
Okay, I did see that question. I can't remember if I typed back in the chat there or not, but the Almost There, or the shipping threshold, like I mentioned, we do have that very easy setup for Shopify and Shopify Plus. So sorry, I know who asked this question. What's the name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Okay. So sorry, Stephanie, that's not WooCommerce, obviously. But if you can send me an email, and I dropped my email address there in the chat, I can find out for you. I'm not sure if we have an easy solution as we do for Shopify and Shopify Plus, but I know that we can get it done. So it might just take a couple of extra tweaks, but I believe we can make it happen. So if you shoot me an email, I will find the best person to help you with that.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenna.
Mm-hmm.
There was another question here for you. Someone uses Privy and syncs their emails to Conversio. Do you have a way to sync the email captures back to Conversio?
I did see that. That was Mary who asked, I believe, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yep. Hi, Mary. We do integrate directly with Conversio. So we can pass everything back. Privy obviously has the same functionality as we do, but yes, we can do everything that you're probably already doing there, because we directly integrate. So for example, if you have an email capture, the person enters their email, we can pass that to a specific list inside of Conversio or a specific flow. I forgot what the terminology is, but yes, to answer your question.
Awesome. We have a question here from Gabriel. He wants to know if the checkout payment method is also custom depending on geolocation. That one's for you, Ron.
The payment method is not dependent on the geolocation. You would have set up accounts with whatever gateways, Stripe, Auth.net, Braintree. So if you have a US dollar account, Euro account, whatever currency is coming in, that gateway would accept that currency, convert it if needed, and then settle it, pay out the funds to you, the merchant.
Thanks, Ron. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you learned a lot. Remember that we'll email you the link to this webinar so you can watch at your leisure. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.